You know those backups everyone keeps telling you to make? Well, imagine if I told you that there's a new type of ransomware that actually tries to delete them.
It's a really nasty situation, yeah.
So in this deep dive, we're going to take a closer look at how ransomware is evolving to target backups, and more importantly, what you can do to protect yourself.
I think a good analogy is if someone was robbing a bank, the first thing they would do is try to disable the security cameras, right?
Right.
Well, that's basically what attackers are doing with backups. They know that if they can delete or corrupt your backups, it gives them much more leverage. You're far more likely to just pay the ransom if you have no other way to recover your data.
So let's unpack this. How are these attackers actually getting to the backups?
So, as security has gotten better over the years, the attackers have been forced to become more sophisticated. There are a few different methods they use.
Okay.
One common method is what's called an encryption-based attack.
Hmm.
Now, it used to be they'd just encrypt your files, but now they encrypt the entire backup system.
Oh, wow.
So it's like scrambling the combination to your vault. The vault's still there, but you can't open it.
So even if you have the backups, they're useless.
Exactly.
Scary.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else are they doing?
Another tactic is credential theft.
Ah,
So think about it this way. If someone knew your email address, they could reset your bank password, right?
right.
It's the same concept with backups. Attackers are stealing login credentials and using those to get into backup systems and wreak havoc.
Oh, man.
That's why strong passwords are so important, and that's also why we implement multi-factor authentication for all critical tasks on our backup appliances.
Oh, that's smart. So you need two things to authenticate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think of it like needing two keys to launch a nuclear missile.
Yeah.
Even if one key is compromised, the other one provides a vital layer of protection.
Okay, I got it. So my main systems can be secure, but if someone gets hold of my backup login, I'm still toast.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's one of the biggest things that people overlook.
Anything else that they're doing to get to these backups?
They can also delete or corrupt the configuration files for the backup software itself. Imagine ripping out the control panel to your home security system.
Oh, jeez.
Even if the cameras are still there, they're useless if you can't control them.
Right, right. Okay, so that's pretty sneaky. Anything else?
Another common attack vector is what's called a network-based attack. Ransomware spreads like wildfire through networks.
Yeah.
If your backup server is connected to the same network as your infected systems, it's basically an open invitation for the ransomware to hop over and infect the backup as well. That's why we really advocate for air gapping. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, but refresh my memory.
It's basically just like having a backup of your most important documents in a safe deposit box at a bank.
Okay.
It's physically separate from your everyday finances. Air gapping is the same idea. It physically separates the backups from the main network.
So even if I've got strong passwords, my software's up to date, if my backups are on the same network as my infected system, they're still vulnerable.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the major flaws in a lot of traditional backup solutions.
Mm-hmm.
They often reside on the same network as the primary data, so that makes them easy targets for attackers.
Okay, so just having backups isn't enough anymore. We need to make sure that those backups are protected with just as much security as our primary data, right?
Exactly.
But what does that even look like? How do you make your backups basically ransomware-proof?
Well, that's where things get interesting, and that's where we start talking about some of the really exciting technologies that we've been developing, like immutable backups.
Immutable backups, yeah, I've heard of those.
So, have you ever seen those time capsules that people bury in their backyard?
Yeah.
It's like capturing data at a moment in time and then making it unchangeable. So no matter what kind of malware hits your system, those backups remain safe and sound.
So it's like you have a rewind button for your data.
Exactly. And, the great thing about immutable backups is that they don't require storing a full copy of your data every time. We just capture the changes.
So cool.
It's really space efficient.
So you're telling me that if I use your air gap storage, your multi-factor authentication, and these immutable snapshots, I can basically create a digital fortress around my backups.
Absolutely. And you know what? That's exactly what we do. We combine all of these security measures to create a multi-layered defense.
So it's kind of like having multiple locks on your front door, right?
Exactly. It makes it much harder for attackers to get in. Any one solution on its own might have a vulnerability, but when you combine them, you create a security posture that is incredibly robust. If you'd like to learn more, you can contact us at sales@stonefly.com or visit our website, www.stonefly.com.
Okay, so we've covered the scary stuff. We talked about how attackers are targeting backups, why traditional methods might not be cutting it anymore, and some of the solutions that are available to actually combat these threats. we've only scratched the surface.
Right.
There's still so much more to talk about. So let's delve a little deeper into the specific features and strategies that could really help fortify your defenses.
You mentioned these immutable backups before.
Yeah,
How does that actually work? It sounds like magic to me.
it kind of does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's based on really clever tech. You basically take a snapshot of your whole system at a certain point in time,
Okay.
like a digital photo.
Yeah.
And then you make it unchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
Even someone with, admin privileges can't change it.
Hmm.
That's basically what an immutable snapshot is.
So even if someone, got into my system and started deleting stuff, I could just rewind to that snapshot and get everything back.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly, like a time machine. And the cool thing is, with these immutable snapshots, you don't have to store a full copy every single time. Just changes.
Oh, that's smart.
Super space efficient.
So are you saying with this air-gapped storage, this multi-factor authentication, and these immutable snapshots, I could build a fortress around my backups?
You got it. Multiple layers of defense, right?
Oh.
Like any one thing might have some weaknesses, but when you put them all together, it's really strong.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But isn't there still that risk of human error?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
People accidentally deleting stuff, clicking on bad links.
Right.
All of that.
Absolutely. And that's why, we always stress good security policies.
Yeah.
Training employees regularly, having a culture of security.
But what does that look like in practice?
Well, I mean, strong passwords, multi-factor authentication, we talked about that, but also being aware of phishing scams, right?
Right.
Don't click on weird links.
Sure.
Be careful downloading stuff, all the basics.
It's like you can have a top-notch security system, but if you leave the door unlocked.
Exactly. Technology and common sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we, I think, really shine.
Yeah.
We give you the tech, but we also help you, actually use it, right?
Right. So you're not just selling a product, you're selling peace of mind.
Yeah, exactly. We know how important data is, and we want to protect it. But being realistic, sometimes things still go wrong.
Right.
What happens if someone gets hit with ransomware, even with all these precautions?
Good question.
That's where these immutable snapshots come in.
Okay.
Because even if your whole system gets encrypted, you can just roll back, undo the damage.
Oh, wow.
Like a rewind button for your data.
Okay, so it's not complicated to recover.
Nope. Easy to use.
Okay.
Just pick the snapshot you want, start the restore. Simple.
Yeah.
But of course, things are always changing.
Yeah.
New threats are coming out all the time. We have a whole team that just focuses on that.
Mm-hmm.
They're monitoring everything, making sure our solutions stay ahead of the bad guys.
So you're not just selling a product, you're selling a partnership.
Yeah, that's it. We're in this together.
It's good to hear someone takes this seriously.
Absolutely. But one last thing. You might be thinking with all this security,
Yeah.
isn't it going to slow things down?
Right.
Actually, it's designed for top performance.
Okay.
You won't even notice it's working in the background.
Wow, that's impressive. I'm definitely feeling better about all this ransomware stuff now.
Good. That's the goal.
Yeah.
We're always here to help.
I appreciate that.
If you have any questions about security, just reach out. We'll be happy to talk you through it. We want to make sure everyone's data is safe.
Thanks for all this info. This has been a great deep dive.
Yeah, glad you found it helpful. Remember, the best defense is being proactive. Don't wait for something to happen.
Right.
Take action today to protect your data. So we've spent this deep dive looking at how ransomware is evolving to target backups. And more importantly, we've talked about how you can actually fight back against these attacks.
It's been pretty eye-opening, hasn't it?
Definitely. But I think the biggest takeaway is that knowledge is power. The more you understand about the threats and the ways to counter them, the less scary it all seems.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about being proactive and taking control, not just living in fear.
Right. So as we wrap things up here, let's just sort of crystallize those key takeaways for our listeners. What would you say is the most important thing to remember?
Well, I think the first thing is to ditch the idea that simple backups are enough.
Yeah.
Those external hard drives or basic network shares, they're just not going to cut it in this day and age. We need to start thinking about backups as a core part of our security strategy.
Like the core part of the security strategy,
Yeah,
not just something you do, as an afterthought.
exactly.
Okay, so what else? What's another crucial point?
Embrace that multi-layered defense, right? Remember that castle analogy we talked about? Moats, drawbridges, guard towers. That's what we're going for here. That's why our backup appliances are built with multiple layers of protection. We've got the air-gapped storage, we've got multi-factor authentication, volume deletion protection, the immutable snapshots.
It all works together.
Exactly.
Creates a really, really resilient system. And Hey, if you're looking for a solution that actually brings all those things together,
Hmm.
our team can help you out with that. Just reach out to us at sales@stonefly.com or visit our website, www.stonefly.com. We're happy to talk you through it.
Absolutely. We're really passionate about making data protection,
Yeah.
something that everyone can access and use.
Yeah.
Okay, so key takeaways. What's the last thing that you want people to walk away with?
Well, I think it's important to never underestimate the human factor
Oh, yeah.
because even with all the best technology in the world, a single click on a phishing link or a weak password,
Right.
it can bring everything crashing down.
It's so true. So invest in training your team, make security a part of your company culture,
Yeah.
and just always be careful out there on the internet. Technology's only as strong as the people using it.
That's a great point to end on. And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive. I hope this exploration of ransomware and how it's targeting backups has been informative for everyone.
I hope our listeners are leaving here feeling not just aware of the risks, but, confident that they can actually do something about them.
Yeah, there are solutions out there for sure.
Yeah.
And with the right knowledge, the right tools,
Uh-huh.
we can all stay ahead of these bad guys.
Exactly.
The best defense is a proactive one. Don't wait for an attack to happen.
Take action.
Secure your backups today and really just protect what matters most to you.
Knowledge is power.
There you go.
We can build a more secure future together. And, if you're ready to step up your data protection, our team is here to help. For further information about our appliances, contact us at sales@stonefly.com or visit our website, www.stonefly.com.
Well said. Until next time, stay safe, stay informed, and stay ahead of the threats. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.